So, when I was working in my former place of work, part of our strategies for generating leads. If you're a salesperson, if your lead funnel is not full, your chance of making sales is very slim. So you have to ensure your lead funnels are always full. Always full. You must have people you are speaking to part time, every time. Part of our strategy was on Saturday. There's somebody in my office that the sales head has appointed that you must generate an event for us on a Saturday, even if it's wedding. So if there's a wedding, if he does not bring an event, he will be penalized. So he would go and look for anybody doing wedding. He will come and tell us on Friday, there's wedding on Saturday. We don't know the person doing the wedding, but we dress up, we hold our flyers, and we go to the reception. And we go and market. If you are lucky, you make a sale. If you are unlucky, if you don't make a sale, you get somebody that will say, okay, come to my office in Central Bank next week. And that's an opportunity for you to enter into CBN. If it doesn't buy, you can meet other people that will buy. That is sales. Sales is also about communication. How are you communicating your product? There's a book that used to be called Astra Love. It's strange, right? Astra Love. That was the title of the book, Astra Love. But somebody went to a store someday and he saw the book, Astra Love, picked it, looked at it, read a few parts of the content. The book wasn't doing well, of course. Read some of the content and he bought the book. And he contacted the author of the book and bought the rights to the book. He bought the rights to the book and he changed the title. How to satisfy a woman and have her begging for more. He didn't change the content. He changed the title and the book became a bestseller. So, how are you communicating your product? Are you saying big English like said? What's the name of your company? Ogochukwu Ogenekoro Nigeria Limited. Or you are using big English like that senator, Obia Jano, what's his name? That senator from Edo State. Patrick. How are you communicating your product? And when you are trying to sell your product, ask people to buy. In sales, it's called ask for the sale. Don't assume, like you have been taught, don't assume that somebody understands you are selling. Ask, Oga, when are you paying? When are you paying? Make a demand. When are you paying? Well, there's so much to talk about sales, but we are going into the next session. I'm sure you have your questions prepared. There's going to be a breakout session after this session, and then you can ask if you have questions, you can jot them down. It's going to be answered as much as possible. And this is also why you need to please try and stay close to this community. Even if you are not a member of this church or something, and you have enjoyed this thing, this kind of teachings continues. We hear it every day. You see a blackboard over there. Our pastor teaches us with blackboard on Sunday sometimes. So we do a lot of practical teaching that can affect and impact you. Now, so if you are not a part of this community, try and stay close to this community on social media, because some of these things will continue. Some of us need mentorship. We don't need funding. We don't need anything. We just need guide. We just need to be mentored on how to navigate through the channels that we need to go through. So try and stay close to the community. I don't know if we'll be creating a special mentorship class plan after this KBS. I don't know, but I'll be speaking to our senior pastor about it if it's possible, so that even if you are not in here physically, you could be part of the mentorship, because that's what some of us need, okay? So try and stay close to the community, and then you will be helped, I'm certain, because we need to go and impact the world. Come on, we need to go and impact the world. We need to go and impact the world. Hallelujah. Okay, so next session is going to be taken by Mrs. Ogochukwu from Bank of Industry. We are going to be hearing about opportunities that the Bank of Industry has for your business and my business. Please welcome Mrs. Ogochukwu.
Dr. Femi's energy. But I know that immediately after lunch, people feel like sleeping. But thank God for Dr. Femi. He warmed up this place. Can we give him another round of applause? Okay, so let me thank you guys for coming out. It's not all the time that the youth are called to gather to come and hear about opportunities for them, and they appear. Some just want, what is in it for me? Now. Where is the kobo? Where is the naira? But please, if everything you've heard from this last session is anything to go by, go home and sleep over it and practice it. It works, I can tell you. At my level, just this week, I was rejected by a young man who came to access financing from us. And I was like, this has never happened. Who should I call to talk to about this? I'm used to talking to people, and getting them to understand what we do and how we can help them. And I am doing my best trying to explain this to this young man. And he screamed in my office, banging the chairs and telling me to go to hell. These things you're telling me, they can also tell me out there. I'm sorry. I'm trying. No, don't tell me. I'm tired of Nigeria. I'm tired of everything. Why did I even come back to this country? What am I even doing here? I just have to stop. Okay. And he stormed out. And as he was leaving, so mischievously I kept quiet watching him. Usually you meet two doors when you're leaving my office. One leads the convenience, and another leads you out of my office. You can bet what happened. So at that point, I think his boiling point was just coming down. And he just turned and said, I'm sorry I shouted like this to you, but he was looking for a way out of the office. And I kept quiet. He figured it out and left. Anyway, story cut short. He came back to my office to apologize. He had to talk to some people to bring him in, to come and apologize and all of that. And we're calming him down. I canceled him because I knew frustration has set in. Rejection he couldn't handle, objection he couldn't handle. He has small business, like some of us here may have small business, but what he's looking for is something that people who have put in a lot and who have what it takes to do hundreds of millions of naira. That's where he's setting his eyes on, with a capital base of something that will require about 10 million naira. Okay? So that's a mismatch. So please, when you're teaching them, they have to know what to sell and sell their businesses so they get exactly what they want for their business at that time. My name is Ogochukwu Akabogu. I am the state manager for Bank of Industry here in Abuja. I cover, thank you. 2 minutes, 35 seconds has gone already. I cover Abuja, Nasarawa, and Kogi states. Okay? And what do we do? What does Bank of Industry? Who knows about Bank of Industry? By show of hands. Who follows us? How many people? Only few people follow us. By the way, we are on all platforms, so follow us. We're also on TV every week. Do you watch our programs? Hey, Chineke. That's a disaster. Follow us, please. Watch our programs so that you'll be inspired. Okay? We are there every week. 8:30, channels, AIT, NTA. Please, make out time to watch. But you can also follow us on all the social media platforms. We are also there. Again, just Google us and you will see us and you will get to understand what we do. BOI, Bank of Industry, is over 60 years now and running. I thought somebody was going to clap. It's a public institution. We are not profit-driven, but we are profit-making. Over time, I will explain what that means. We are licensed by the Central Bank of Nigeria, co-owned by Central Bank of Nigeria and the Federal Ministry of Finance and a few other stakeholders. We are also regulated by the Central Bank of Nigeria, and we are supervised by the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade, and Investment. So we are a lucky bride, married by many husbands. And I can tell you, we are doing very well. Okay, I'm not here to brag about BOI, but I am proud to work for Bank of Industry because it's one public institution that you will find number one. Can we say that about your business? You may have every other thing here. If you don't have number one, you have nothing. And that is why we are where we are today, as a country, as a nation. That is why when you travel abroad, people are looking at you suspiciously. That is why when your product is on the shelves, people ignore it and want to buy the imported ones. It doesn't mean that your product is not good enough. But did you cut corners? Did you try to make it sharp without applying patience? Have you learned to do it properly? So that when you sell, you will be able, people will buy and be able to refer other people to buy your product. When you come to BOI, we're going to ask you all of this. We will have to see how you carry out your production. We'll have to see that all the regulatory authorities have certified your product, assuming something that requires that. A lot of people don't like us for that. But that is what number one here tells you. Integrity of your product. Can you use your own product in the first place? Can you recommend it to your family members? I tell you one story of something that happened in my office. A young man came from China. He is married to a Chinese, so he has a license to link up entrepreneurs that come from anywhere in the world and help them with the manufacturers in China. And a Nigerian man came to him and said, oh, I'm here to manufacture some drugs. The pills, the medications we take when we are sick, right? And he said, what he realized was that this man was asking that the real content of this medication should be only 5%. The rest should be rubbish. And he looked at him and said, 5%? You remember when NAFDAC will be advertising and announcing that people are packaging chalk and the rest of it? Yeah, so this one is saying only 5%. And he says, this is something people take to improve their health. What if it's your mother that buys this thing and it harms her? He says he doesn't care. At that point, he had to walk him out of his office and said, if you're a murderer, I'm not going to be an accomplice. I'm here to do business, to make money, but I'm not here to kill people. In your business, assuming any of you have started business, what are you doing? Do you want to be Hilton, Nikon Hilton overnight, with the services of Booker? But you want to charge the prices of Nikon Hilton. You set up something, you know that what you're giving has no value, but you want to sell it at the price. Would they come back? There won't be any referral, I tell you. There will be rejection and rejection and rejection. There won't be any chance of selling. Even if you sell, they will look for you and you end up in a cell. We see these things every day. So let me go straight to why I'm here. I have 25 minutes. What do we do as a bank? We are a development financial institution. We are not a commercial bank or a money deposit bank, as they are called. What does that mean? We are set up strictly to finance businesses in the industrial sector. We have included services. We do not take deposits from anybody. You don't come to us and open an account and you put money there. But what we do is that we support your business. Why it's called developmental is that, like I said, we are profit-making, but we are not profit-driven. Therefore, you find that certain conditions and terms that you will get from commercial banks, where you pay very high interest rate, does not apply to us. Our interest rate is usually very low. Developmental because if government has an initiative and they want to intervene in a particular sector in an industry, they could do that through us. So the money passes through us, and we go through and screen people who will qualify for that money, and we give it, and we make sure the money comes back. So in a nutshell, that is what Bank of Industry does. How do we do this? We have 3 levels and platforms where we disburse funds to desiring but deserving entrepreneurs. All of us desire money, right? We all want plenty money for our businesses, but it's not everybody that qualifies for it. So if you're deserving of it, you will definitely get it, and you work hard at it. So we have the micro, and I'll tell you the way we categorize it. The micro loans are the loans that are below 10 million naira. So if you have any business that requires financing of below 10 million, we categorize you as a micro business. If you have need for above 10 million naira, up to 1 billion naira, we categorize you as small and medium enterprise. Is there anybody whose business here requires up to 1 billion naira? Yes. Any other person? Yes. Yes. Keep popping up these hands. It will happen in Jesus' name. But we have to work. Oh. All right. So above 1 billion naira, we refer you to our head office, which is located in Lagos. We call it large enterprises. Any business above 1 billion naira, not by your assets or anything, but the size of your business, by the requirements, the funding gap you have, if it's above 1 billion naira, we take you to our head office. They will handle you better. What's the nature of projects that we finance? It's either you are a startup, or as we call it, greenfield, or a brownfield, which means the business is already in existence. Or you already have a business, but you want to modernize it. You want to buy modern equipment. We are there. You have equipment that are manually operated, but you want to automate it. We are there for you. You want to do backward integration. Oh, yes, I've been producing, but my raw materials, I keep buying from other people. I can produce this raw material. I'll give you an instance. If you have a poultry farm, and the cost of feed is going high, very high, but you can produce your own feed. That is backward integration, so you're giving yourself the raw materials, so you don't have to spend extra when you can produce it, all right? It can also be forward integration. I produce and I package and I deliver, but I want to finish it. I'm producing semi-finished product. I want to finish it now and be the one that will sell it. You want to produce your own packaging materials and the rest of it, I want to deliver the final product. I don't want to just produce the cassava chips for the ethanol producers. I want to produce the ethanol myself, right? Forward integration. If you want to expand, oh, demand is in excess of my supply. I want to build more factory and put more equipment and increase my production capacity. We are there for you. You want to also diversify, right? I'm producing water, but where I'm supplying water, they lack juice there, and they need it, and there's market for it. And it's the same line I'm going to use to fill the bottles and the rest of it, just use water, flush after producing juice. I can fill my bottles with water and still sell. Fine and good. Just like Coca-Cola does. Coca-Cola produce water. So you can also diversify. We are there for you. What are the requirements? I'm going through this very fast because I hear there's an opportunity for you to ask me questions. So what do you require? For those who are going for loans of below 10 million naira, you only need 2 guarantors as collateral. and 10% of the loan amount. Are you hearing me? I said for those who require loans below 10 million naira, you need 2 guarantors, 2 human beings. Why did you laugh? You made me laugh too. No, not just any human being. Human being of value. Okay, who can stand in for you, assuming you fail to pay the loan back? We do not pray that you fail. But assuming you fail to pay, they will be able to stand in for you and help you pay the loan back. And then 10% of the loan amount, which will keep in an account for you, paying you interest, until you pay off, we return the money with interest. But most importantly, your business must be registered. CAC is there to register your business. It can be as a sole proprietorship or as a limited liability company. You must have your business plan ready, where you have done your feasibility study about the products or the business you're going into. This one is very serious. It's number 1 for us, because that tells us about what you want to do and how you want to do it, and how the money you're going to generate, you're going to manage it as well, and how you're going to apply it to pay off this loan. We will need pro forma invoices for the equipment you're going to buy. We will need your statement of account. These are just in a nutshell. This is not all, it's a long list, but it's not something you cannot provide. A lot of documentation goes on with us, all right? I'm just abridging some of these things. Above 10 million naira, same thing applies, but you don't need guarantors, you don't need 10% of the loan amount. What you require is a physical collateral, which could be a property that has certificate of occupancy in a good location. There's a story they always tell us about a property that somebody brought in his village. And people went there to go and inspect and all of that. And before they knew, they saw people with knife. Like, okay, so what have you people come here to do? Please don't give us your father's house. We don't want that. Give us a property that is commercially viable, okay? And then it could be a bank guarantee. The commercial banks issue the bank guarantee, we accept it, and we disburse the facility to your account with that commercial bank. We can also use it where you have existing assets. We can also use the assets. Common to all of this, you must have your BVN ready. We must check your borrowing history. So there are people who lie here. Hey, God save us. Have you taken money anywhere? No. This is the first time. I don't even know what it means to borrow. Really? We require you to put that in writing, and they put that in writing. And then we do our credit search, and we'll see that this person borrowed from defunct banks. They've written off their debts. So when a bank writes off your debt, you think you are free. You're not free. They have stored it somewhere. All the banks have access to it. They'll go and see how you have borrowed. Some of them, the banks don't even know where their files are. Because it's a long time they borrowed and they didn't pay. They had a history of borrowing from one bank to the other. Please go and check those accounts that you think you have closed, though. If you still have minus 10 kobo there, it's still reflecting that you are owing a bank. Go and clear it. Go and clear it now. Check all your accounts because it's showing. We will check your borrowing history. If you're owing, no other bank will lend to you. We'll do our legal search to make sure that your company is in existence, is duly registered by CAC. What we have noticed of recent is a clash. Usually when you put in a name for CAC to register you, they will run a check to be sure that there is no other name like that. If there is any name that sounds like it, they will reject it. But of late, we are seeing companies who have other companies registered in the same names. We don't know what has happened. Maybe by the time they were automating or something, there was a clash or something. But different directors. So it's a risk for you as a business person. If somebody else has a similar name, they can go and commit something, and all of you will be put together as one, and you will start going to EFCC to go and answer questions. Please make sure you check that everything is updated concerning your company. Like I said, I'm just abridging some of these things. We also do our PEP search. PEP is politically exposed persons. If you have been honorable somewhere, there's a dot somewhere on you. We don't know when they will call you. But that does not mean you cannot access facility. It's just that the conditions will be different. Okay, for those who are into manufacturing, no matter what it is you're coming to us for, your factory, your space must be ready. It must be available. Even if it's not fully ready for your operations, we would have seen that you have already started something. All right? If it's rent that you're going to lease a space, we will see that you have already paid for that space and that there is a receipt. You have to show evidence. If it's for 5 years, the lease is for 5 years, but you want to be paying annually, there has to be a lease agreement that shows, because we want to give you loan for a space where that we are sure that you're stable for the period the tenor of the loan covers. So we don't want to give you loan for 4 years, 3 years, and your rent is just for 1 year, and there is no agreement to extend it beyond the 1 year. So after 1 year, what happens? You have to relocate. It does not mean you cannot relocate your factory, your office, but you must seek approval from the bank that you're relocating and give reasons why you are, and the bank will approve before you move, okay? We are not that stringent like that when it comes to such. I'm making you people laugh. I'm saying something serious here. Okay. You have to prove ownership. Where the factory is yours, you have to prove ownership of that land. And we must be sure that every government approval is given for you to use that space. NAFDAC approval, SON, FCDA, whatever it is. If it's oil and gas, all the approving authorities have approved for you to do that business, then we can fund you. How do we finance? This one will not make a lot of people happy. But I know that people here are very credible people. We don't give cash. When your loan has been approved, we don't give you the cash. We pay directly to your suppliers. How? When you have given us pro forma invoices of the equipment or the items you want to purchase, when the approval is given and it's time to disburse, we will ask the suppliers to supply, install, and test run before we make payments to them. The reason is that most people run into the temptation of diverting funds. Again, if we allow you to deal directly with the supplier, what if he gives you what will not function? You have already borrowed. It's not the supplier. You've paid him. He goes away. Equipment is not working. So the equipment must be on ground, must have been test run, and you are satisfied with the functionality of that equipment before we make payment. But we give them letters to say, okay, this is fine. We will pay you within 2 weeks if everything is fine, and we do that. Some we pay within 24 hours, 48 hours, for as long as it's confirmed. Now, what do we finance? If you want to do any construction of any type, we don't finance that. Oh, I want to build my factory, I want to pay rent, I want to buy land. We don't do that. What we finance is your plants and machineries, equipment, your raw materials. We don't pay for you to pay salaries. We don't pay for you to buy diesel, but we'll buy you the generator. We'll buy you the transformer, all right? All the equipment you require, we'll get that for you. But pay your own salary. That's your own skin in the game. For construction, that is real estate. We don't get involved in that. What are the terms The tenors for the loans, it ranges from 3 years to 10 years, depending on the type of business you're doing and the nature. And then we offer you moratorium on principal. In other words, as soon as we give you the loan, you start paying interest only. For maybe about 6 months, depending on what the approval says, or up to 1 year, you'll just be paying interest until you are ready, your business has stabilized, and your cash flow can afford to meet the obligations of principal repayment. Then, what are the pricing? How much are you going to pay as interest? This is where the major difference between us and the commercial banks lie. For loans below 10 million naira, we ask for 9% per annum. For those above 10 million naira, we ask from 10% per annum. For your working capital, for your raw materials, up to 12.5% per annum. There are some funds that are available that are as low as 5% per annum. What are the kind of funds we have? We have the BOI fund, we have the NEDEP fund, we have Dangote fund, which is coming back. We have the state matching funds that we have with the states. I don't know how many states represented here, but go and find out if your state has a relationship with BOI. Most states that we have relationship with, the funds they give to BOI, we match it. If you bring 100 million, we match it with 100 million. And the states will waive their own interest. And the loans are usually given at 5% per annum for the development of their own states. So go and ask your governors, if they're not yet with BOI, they should find a way to marry us. And then we have funds too that we used to give to youth corps members. So if you have brothers and sisters, we're going to relaunch that program very soon. That one is 0 interest percent. So we give them the loans. They provide one guarantor. Up to 2 million naira is given to those who are serving. What do we use? We use their discharge certificate from NYSC. So when they're leaving the camp, they're not giving their certificate. They give it to us. The NYSC keeps it, and then based on that, we give them the loan. We also had a ESP, Youth Entrepreneurship Support Program, where we give loans to people between the ages of 18 to 35, up to 5 million naira at 9% per annum. That one, they give us up to 2 guarantors. There are so many in the office now for people who are starting up business. Tertiary institutions by the Central Bank of Nigeria is coming up. They call it TIEs. It's not yet launched. Okay, it's been launched, but it's not yet fully implemented. So tell your sisters and brothers. That's why I was asking those who love BOI and those who follow us. Also follow CBN, follow World Bank, follow Nexim Bank, follow DBN, follow Afrexim Bank, African Development Bank. Follow these people. There are opportunities always that are coming out. Please do not join the many people who have this apathy towards government programs. Is not, don't mind them. They know the people they want to give. You will sit down there complaining. Other people are keen in and they're benefiting. All you need to do for yourself is walk up to the offices. Ask your questions. Make your inquiries. I don't know about other places, but if you come to Bank of Industry Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., our people are there to answer any question. At best, you have the knowledge. You can educate others, even if it's not for your immediate use. You may have an uncle and auntie who needs this loan somewhere. Auntie, are you aware that BOI is doing this? You have added value to somebody. I'm rounding off now. There are fees attached to our loans. So we don't give free of charge, so that I can afford to come out on a Saturday, and I can afford not to take bribe when people come to me. We have to be paid well. It's an institution where we don't take bribe. You don't need to know anybody to access BOI loan. You can take it to anywhere. You come in, we treat you like you deserve to be treated. And I expect you to treat anybody who comes to you the way they ought to be treated. My brothers and sisters in Nigeria, we have lost values for humanity. We don't care anymore. That is why a young man will say, I don't care if it's my mother that consumes a drug that can kill her. Whenever you compromise standards in whatever you do, you are telling somebody somewhere you don't deserve to live, you deserve to die. In your business, please show a lot of transparency and integrity. The money may not come immediately. It may take you a long gestation period to get to where you're going to. The promise to Abraham did not come directly to him. It took some time until it started manifesting. Why do you want it now, and jeopardize your future, and jeopardize your career, and jeopardize everything that will work out? We've seen so many people come to us. You may be wondering, why is she preaching? We've seen so many people come to us and they lose the opportunity. I'll tell you one of the reasons. When we ask for pro forma invoices from suppliers, somebody will go and forge a pro forma invoice. Somebody got us an invoice from a barber shop. The letterhead is from a barber shop. You look at all the items under it. It has nothing to do with barbing. Of course, we know the business he has approached us and want to do. But of course, we do our due diligence. We go undercover to go and make inquiries. Somebody will come and you go to somewhere they're doing medical supplies, equipment supplies, and you're getting us equipment for furniture. And the people will deny, I don't know what you're talking about. This is not from us. We don't ever supply this kind of thing. Why? You want the money to come back to you? I called a particular prospect who had applied for loan to say, my people had investigated to see that you are the same person as the supplier of your equipment. Because we used Truecaller and we saw that the phone number, he didn't give us that particular phone number, but the phone number on the pro forma invoice, we used Truecaller and it reflected that he was the same person. When the report came to me, I called him to talk with him. He said, get out. If you people don't want to give me the loan, you tell me you will not give me the loan. I said, sorry, sir, just to hear from you. Could this be that it is you doing this? And this is supposed to be somebody, in quote, very important. May God help us. That's number one here, is our mantra. Thank you. I'll wait for your questions when we meet.